Welcome, everyone, to the Bucks County Living Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Neff, your real estate resource. Today, I am joined by Christine Edmonds, the director of A Love for Life, which is the largest donor for the University of Pennsylvania concerning pancreatic cancer. Welcome, Christine. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm great, and I'm really glad to be here. And yeah, that's like a recent thing. We've been around for about 10 years. And we just hit $1 million mark for like that total period of time.
That's incredible.
So yeah, every year we were trying to like casually try to reach like $100,000 with all of our different fundraisers, and we're really tightly connected with Penn, which we love that organization. And we really did a lot of research to make sure that we were sending the money where we thought it would be best used. So yeah, but we have a lot of fun doing what we do.
Awesome. How did you get started into this organization, and how did it become established, and a little bit about you?
Oh gosh, like 14 years ago or so, my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, Nora, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And at that point, like nobody in our family really knew what that was or what a pancreas was. So she had a Whipple surgery, which is like the best chance for survival. If you have pancreatic cancer, it's a very involved operation, and she did really well. Like the average, survival rate, 5-year survival rate is very small. It's like 6 months. If you find out you have stage 4, it's about a 6-month, 5-year survival rate. So if you think, it's just a very, very sad prognosis. But she did really well. She made it 3 times that long, but she did eventually succumbed to pancreatic cancer. And shortly after, her brother, my husband Kevin, started feeling really sick, and he had a stomach ache and a backache. And the first thing we thought was pancreatic cancer. But it took maybe 6 months. He had like stomach pains and back pains, and took a really long time to figure out what it was. Like 6 months of endoscopies, colonoscopies, false diagnosis. Maybe it's Crohn's disease. Maybe it was like pancreatitis. Maybe he had gallbladder issues. He swallowed like a capsule that like took a photo every 1/8 of a second through his digestive tract. And not until like Christmas Eve of, 2010 did we find out, oh, it's pancreatic cancer. So at that point, it was like all hands on deck. We went to Penn, found a great oncologist. He enrolled immediately in great clinical trial. And he too, he was not eligible for the Whipple surgery. You can't have the cancer spread at all in order to be qualified for the Whipple. So it had already spread for him. So, but he did great. The trials that they had him at Penn were amazing, and he lived 18 months and passed away in 2012. And after that, we were very, of course, really devastated. But we went to talk to Penn and asked them, how is it that we couldn't find it? We understand, that it's hard to treat, it's hard to find, but we were looking for it. And there's a blood marker, like C19-9 blood marker, that just never popped up. It didn't ever show as elevated. People were like, no, it's not that. We don't think it's that. But the short answer was there is no money for pancreatic cancer research. So that type of research is where breast cancer research was 20 years ago, before a large influx of research money was put in, and that 5-year survival rate for breast cancer flew up to the 90% range, which is magical. So I've always been involved with fundraising or community things, or being on the rec board, or putting on events or anything. So I kind of just focused more on this specific thing. And a bunch of neighbors, I wasn't involved, but a bunch of neighbors that first summer after he passed away put together a dragon boat team and did really well down in Philadelphia at the International Dragon Boat Festival. It has 20,000 people, and they killed it. It was so good. And then from there we added some teams, some family members got involved. We had 3 teams, and 2 years later we had 5 teams, and before COVID we had 6 teams. And now with COVID we haven't had any teams, but they haven't had the races the last 3 years now. But that's how it started. We were okay, let's just focus on, our mission statement is celebrating life and friendship and adventure while funding pancreatic cancer research. So we kind of just, don't ever, nobody on our teams has to raise a certain amount of money or anything. It's hey, try to raise money with your friends. We don't keep track of how much people are, bringing in, or what they're doing. We just give them a website, which is Penn, basically. Anyone on our website, our homepage, for our organization goes anything they donate for, like if it's for, a dinner party, if it's for Oktoberfest, if it's for, anything, like all funnels in to giving pages that are a template that goes to Penn. So the minute someone donates $20, they get a letter from Penn saying thank you for your donation. So we love like giving 100%. Like that's a really important part of our organization. Like nobody makes any money with being involved. Like they just are, everyone's a volunteer.
That's incredible, because before we even, when we first had our initial conversation a little bit ago, I already sensed like you have this sense of civic duty, right? It's like, how can we give back to the community, and what can we do to just make this a better place, before we're gone, right? And I think that that's really something to highlight, is that you have your why. You have your why is that nobody really knows about pancreatic cancer. It's difficult to find. There's not enough money for research, and we hear about the pancreas in like high school biology, and like that's the last we hear about it until something is wrong.
Yes. And none of us, nobody, I mean, unless you like have somebody who had pancreatic cancer, or you have a problem with your pancreas, it's like, what is the pancreas? Which, by the way, is it's an organ that's like tucked inside, like in between like your abdomen, your intestines, under your liver, and it's so deep inside your body that it's like really hard to get to. And anyone who has pancreatic cancer, like the warning signals of that are so vague. It's, stomach ache, bad backache, it migrates to your back. You might get jaundice, which is a great thing because jaundice is painless, but like all of a sudden your eyes are yellow. It's like, oh, that's a quick sign. Nora had that, but Kevin never had jaundice. So it's an organ that's like really hard to get to, even if you're going to do this Whipple. They have to like disconnect everything and reconnect everything, and it's like very, very involved, long operation. And it's
now why is the pancreas so important in our body?
It is the organ that like really helps with digestion. So it secretes enzymes and hormones that help like break down like fats and sugars, like things in your body when you eat. Something has to like kind of break that down to get it, to get through your digestive tract. So if, for instance, you have this Whipple surgery, like you'll have a problem like with insulin, and like you'll need to, have help managing your blood sugar levels and such. So it's very much just involved with your digestion. And if you don't have it, or if it's injured, you just have to be really careful about your diet. And, that's its purpose, is like helping to break down food.
Is there any kind of like preventative maintenance that people can do as far as diet is concerned to be able to?
It is.
If pancreatic cancer runs in the family, what is something that somebody can do to put themselves in a better position not to get it?
Yeah, I mean, imagine like Nora was diagnosed at 49 and passed away at 51. Oh. Kevin was diagnosed at 49 and died at 51. And there were still like 4 siblings in their family, and they're all like, we do not want to do this. Like, but other than like eating really healthy, which we all should do anyway, and not smoking, and trying to maintain like, healthy weight. Like other than that, I don't think there's anything really that you can do to prevent it. It's very, I don't think they really know exactly what causes it. It's like, seems to be, I mean, obviously there's a small genetic component. I mean, Kevin and Nora both had it, but then also in their case, it was a very strong, it's their environment. Like they went to the same grade school, the same high school, the same college, lived in the same town. We all like went to the same places. They had the entire, identical childhood. So yeah, it's genetic, but it could also be some exposure they had to something along the way there. Like
right.
They had
and I think that's why, what you're doing is so important, contributing to the pancreatic cancer research, because it's just nobody really knows what's going on.
Right. And if there's no money for research, then there's no researchers doing it. Like all those people spending time in labs. It's interesting. Somebody had said once, like if you go into any pancreatic cancer research lab, the people who are there have most likely lost somebody that they loved. Like that's why they're doing it. They're not doing it for the money, because there's not much money there. And when Kevin and Nora passed away, the 5-year survival rate then was about 4.5%. So 4.5%, 4 or 5 out of 100 people that were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer would be alive in 5 years.
Wow.
So in the 10 years, since Kevin passed away, like that number has doubled. So now I think it's like more like 11 or 12. So doubled is great, but 11 or 12 is still not like the number you want to hear if you have that. And I think that we spend a lot of time, in addition to like just raising money, we try to raise awareness for this issue and also like kind of help community members who get diagnosed with pancreatic cancer now, like to be super positive and realize that like, yeah, like the numbers are awful, but like just don't look at them, because it's really important, you know, a healing process and like a survival, you know, through this cancer. A lot of that depends upon like your support system and your friends and your, you know, your attitude and your, you know, your willingness to like participate and find great, you know, clinical trials that you can qualify for. And, you know, our hope is always to connect people with we have a great connection at Penn, you know, like a great nurse navigator that if, you know, I get a call like every week, every other week, my friend was diagnosed or my brother's wife was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Can you help them? Like, can you connect them with, you know, someone at Penn? And we have a great, I don't think that anybody gets helped any faster than anyone else, but we have a great number where people can just call and get like set up to get all their records and their tests and their, you know, meet with one of the amazing oncologists there.
Kind of streamline the process.
Yeah, because you know, you don't know, what are you going to call like the main phone number for University of Pennsylvania's Abramson Cancer Center? You're so stressed out when you find out you have this, and your general practitioner, you know, in most cases isn't going to be able to be the person that's going to be your oncologist. So, I mean, you've got to figure out where you're going to go. And, you know, if you happen to be in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, like if you're in this area, you know, Penn is like, I think it's like your best bet, which is why we're connected with them.
So that's incredible. So not only do you contribute and fundraise for the pancreatic cancer research, but you also provide an avenue for people that have just been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer to kind of point them in the right direction of like, here is what we have found as your best chance for beating it.
Right. And also to be their cheerleaders. Like, I want everybody to do well. I want everybody to like see their grandkids, you know? So we are like, you know, along the way, people are like, should we do this or should we do that? And I'm in no way a medical expert, like the opposite of a medical expert, but I am a wealth of like good cheer and trying to like, you know, you can do this, it'll be fine. Like, let's just, you know, call this doctor. Will they let you do this trial here? Is that a possibility? You know, like just trying to, you know, be a positive person. And also all those people that I connect with and that, you know, we become like friends, and they help like our cause so much. Like, we have a really great friend in Doylestown that has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and like he put on an event up in Doylestown at Chambers, and, you know, his friends all came, and we raised like $5,000 for Love for Life. And
I love it.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Now, so your dear friend up in Doylestown, he did a fundraiser. What kind of fundraisers do you do? I know you have Oktoberfest coming up, which is a huge event.
Mm-hmm. That's like a really fun one. Our biggest thing was dragon boat racing, kind of. Like, we just had a ton of sponsors. You know,
it was like the highlight of Newtown.
Yeah, Wisfis is like our biggest bank sponsor, but like, you know, companies around town and everything. I'm not going to name them because there's like 100 of them and I will forget. But people can donate anything from like, you know, Wisfis is like a lot down to like $250 and get their names on the shirts and be, you know, part of the fun, and race day is really fun. But with COVID, we kind of, you know, since those races were all canceled, even for this fall, the Philadelphia race and the Bucks race that we usually do, we did have like we have a 5K, the Shamrock Shuffle we had last year, and we'll have in the worst day of March. It's right around St. Patrick's Day, but if you remember the worst Saturday near St. Patrick's Day, that was our race day.
Oh,
but
yeah, cold and rainy.
Oh my God, sleet, cold, slippery, freezing. But we had like 750 people sign up. Half of them showed up, but I was impressed.
The ones with the heart, the ones
I don't
that
know,
really
the people
won.
that weren't afraid of, you know, twisting an ankle. I think it was fine. But yeah, we have that. The Oktoberfest is great. We did 2 years of, we had it in person a little bit. Then the last 2 years we did like Oktoberfest to go, where we delivered the meals to houses, and they, you know. But DeBruno Brothers down in Philly, like, they gave us all the bratwurst and like bags to deliver it, and cheese and everything. Barsteiner Beer gives us all the beer for free. Haribo Gummy Bears gives us our gummies. We just got Nord Bread, which is amazing bread, is going to be our bread sponsor. And I'm forgetting people, I'm sure. But Newtown Hardware House will give us like our, you know, German chocolate chip cookies. We have a great partnership with them. Like every bag of cookies sold there, if anybody's in the Newtown area, they're the best cookies. But we get $1 from every bag for the last 10 years. And
Wow.
You wouldn't believe how much money that is. So it's an amazing partnership that we have with Bill and Meg.
The cookies are delicious.
They are, yeah. So Bill and Meg were really good friends with my husband, and like we all had a lot of fun together. And Love for Life started exactly like in the same year that Bill and Meg bought the hardware house. So we have a great partnership with that. And
wow. So you do fundraisers all the time. People can find this on your website.
Yeah, our website's the best thing. So right now, if you go to our website, which is www.aloveforlife.us, so it's written out, we have like 3 circles right now. One is just like the Newtown Hardware House cookies, just to like let you know that we have that partnership. One is a really great art event that we'll just have a couple days probably before this podcast airs. So we'll have it again sometime. But we are having like a Jennifer Hanson-Roley's a local artist that donates a painting every year. This year we're trying something different and going to have a bunch of prints available, like really fine art giclée prints. Although we will have an option for people to buy them afterwards. So they should look at that link on our website. And then the last is Oktoberfest, which should be pretty much sold out by the time this airs, but that is like $60 that goes directly to Penn, like 100%, and is held outside in Newtown Borough. And we kind of limit it to, just because of where it is, but it's in the shadow of a church, and it's very authentic, and it's really fun.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is the mission for Love for Life?
Ours is, we want to celebrate life and friendship and adventure while raising money and awareness for pancreatic cancer research. So anything that we are doing, we kind of put through that filter, like, is that going to be fun? Is it going to be like, we'll bring people together? We always had karaoke nights, like at the Temperance House, but we haven't, like, just because it's crowded and inside. So we kind of have let that go right now. But we'll, things will start up again once all of these variants like slide away. We had asked the Dr. Stanger, who heads the pancreatic cancer research department at Penn now. We're like, should we have like Oktoberfest like in person? This is like last year. Should we have these indoor events? And his response was great. It was, you wouldn't want an organization whose main purpose is to like vanquish a disease to be a vector for a different disease.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're going to like hold off on too many like indoor things. We have had a few exceptions, but we just, recommended people wear masks, especially if they're
whatever anybody feels comfortable
immunocompromised.
with.
Yeah. So that's but Oktoberfest outside this year, I'm pretty excited.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. And then we have shopping days. We have a ton of shopping days like through the holidays. Like we always have a jingle mingle at Newtown Hardware House where it's like, I'll put as soon as we figure out our date and everything, that'll be on our website homepage, and that's just, they give us a percentage back. We do the same, like there's a new shop in town called Home Tonic that's a great like home goods store. We're going to be doing something with them in November, December. Jay McLaughlin, we usually have something in November. We just have, lots of times community members or people who own shops will just reach out and say like, hey, we want to do something. The Pro Shop was like, oh my gosh, like on the tennis and fitness shop that was on State Street, like they had a fire recently, but we would have yoga there. El Kaplan did our yoga like every once or twice a month for years now, for like 10 years.
Wow. And
we are going to move that over to our friend Ashar is opening up a new space also above Triple Sun.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have parties at Triple Sun, we have cocktail parties, we have silent auctions. There's always something going on, and actually probably Instagram is like the way to, like, if people are on Instagram, can't keep up with all of the different things we need to be on. We do have Facebook, but we're kind of moving a little bit away from that. Facebook is A Love for Life. Instagram is A Love for Life, at A Love for Life, but it has to have the little underscore at the end because somebody already had it by the time I found out what Instagram was. And we have our website, and we have a monthly newsletter. So every first of the month, I sit down and like get everything on one page and send it out. We usually don't send anything else out unless it's one reminder. So our organization doesn't ever email more than like twice a month.
Great.
So people sign up, they can get right. It's like, so we just send everything that's happening that month on the 1st. And then if there's something that was like maybe on the 20th or something, we'll send out a reminder like, hey, don't forget, we have this Jennifer Hanson-Roley art party. You got to RSVP if you want to go. So that's the best way, I think, if, people just shoot us an email and say, I want to be on the mailing list. We never sell our mailing list also. But
now, for the newsletter and the mailing list, do you also include different things like updates in the pancreatic cancer space, or is it more geared towards
do not.
Like fundraisers?
It's
and
more
events?
What we're up to, like what
Okay.
we're doing and what connect, and also like if sponsors somebody, like Nord Bread will be featured in our next
Right.
one because they're going to give us the best bread.
Just a shout out to
yeah,
local businesses
exactly.
and sponsors.
And there are organizations that are so good at that. Like there's PanCan, like a lot, for people looking for advice about treatments, about what kind of clinical trials to do. PanCan is PanCan Action Network is like it's a national organization that has board meetings and like staff, and they have a very comprehensive website with all the information anybody would need on the basics of like care and treatment and diagnosis. And that's like not my wheelhouse. So our wheelhouse is we got a new brand of cookie at the hardware house, and come try it out.
Yeah, that's beautiful because you let the doctors and the researchers and all of them handle the research side of things. Yeah. And it's like, hey, we can guide you in the right direction. We can't do it for you, yes. But like here, we're going to do whatever we can to fund what you need to make sure that we find a cure.
Yes, and I wouldn't want to give out false information.
Like right, if I'm exactly. Especially not being a medical
things
professional.
Off the top of my head. Like I was a German major, so I don't think that would be a good idea.
Oh man, that's incredible. Now, next, I like to move into a section called the Big Three. So these are 3 questions that I ask everyone that comes onto the podcast. My first question is, what do you think makes Bucks County a great place to live?
Wow. I'm going to just go with Newtown Borough because that's like my wheelhouse and where I spend like 95% of my time. I love Bucks County because that gives us the bucolic, beautiful Tyler Park and all the, nature things that I love. But for me, like the being right in the middle of Newtown and spending time here and working with the companies that are based here, I just love that like you can like go to a record store and get like a secondhand record. You can go to the hardware house that's been there. We're celebrating 153 years.
Wow.
A big party, Love for Life party there October 1st. So there's Market Day, and we're going to do like a Love for Life Newtown Hardware House party like during Market Day then. So it's free. Everybody should come. Like, it's awesome. Going to be really fun. Be free cookies to try. I love that you can go to the coffee room, which is now going to be Calm Waters, I think, from Bristol. Like they're just switching over this week.
Yeah.
But we have like our own little, coffee shop. You can go to Starbucks if you love Starbucks. We have like just the best little flower shop. My daughter works at Clark's. I work there when they're busy. Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. I love being able to walk around and you see Harry from the bike shop. You get to like wave to everybody that, I've been here now for 24 years. So like, obviously I got to meet everybody, but if I run out of sugar, like I kind of have some keys or know where the keys are hidden and I can go get a cup of sugar without having to run to the store. And I love that about our town. It's like,
it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
And I was on the rec board for many, many years with a lot of the people that are very involved with Love for Life now, like Heather Lewis and, just a bunch of neighbors. Like we would do like music in the park, like on Congress Street, and movies in the park over by CVS at Linton Hill Park. And just having everybody like dragging their kids in like little wagons and like coming over to see, a movie in the summer for free, or go hear like a band play, or hear all their kids play in a band, like when we had like School of Rock, I think brought all the young kids one year. But our parades, like just to like the parades go like stomping down State Street, people like old people sitting on benches at the hardware house and waving their flags. It's like a quintessential small town, and I love living here.
Just like a little slice of Americana.
Yeah. And I think if Kevin was still alive, I think maybe we would have taken that, like, we would have moved to New York or down to Philly or something, or gotten a little condo somewhere and lived like the city life without having to worry about the, like, woodpeckers on my cedar shingles, or like the fact that the thistles taking over the yard. But I can't, I'm not going anywhere now. Like, I love the fact that, like, I can have birthday parties in my backyard. We're having a wedding in the backyard in October. Like, just
beautiful.
having friends over, We have like, Friday night things. Everybody takes turns and we go around,
That's
have
beautiful.
a glass of wine, walk home.
It's interesting. One of the other agents in this office, he was, him and his wife, they were honeymooning in New Hope. And they were from like Central Jersey. And one day they just decided to take a ride from New Hope, and they went down River Road, and somehow they ended up in Newtown. And they were like, where the heck are we? This is the cutest little town that I have ever seen.
Throwback.
And within like 6 months, they packed up, they moved to Newtown. Now they work in our office in Newtown, and they live in the borough. It's incredible, So I think that is really just a true testament to like how powerful and beautiful the or how powerful the ambiance of Newtown Borough really is, to kind of appeal to just like, wow, like everybody is just so friendly and nice and waving to everybody, and you get everything you need.
Yeah. Also, I think the borough has like, I think it's like 2,100 people live in the borough. It's very like just 8 square blocks. I don't even know. But it's about 2,000 people. And I think our breakdown is like 50-50, like Republican, Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like half my friends are Republican and half are Democrat. And the kids are all independent. But I love that like everybody kind of just, locally, like everyone's like friends and, at each other's houses for dinner and hang out and stuff. And we're able to like, have discussions or stop when we want to stop and, still have a lot of fun together and, raise a beer at Oktoberfest. It's still fun.
Exactly. We all put the politics aside just for like, how can we just help more people?
Yes. And people care so much about Newtown and doing like fun things, that are going to be great for the community. And, there's Democrats and Republicans doing all these different things, but everyone's supporting all of it because it's for the good of our, communal town.
Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah.
What is your favorite restaurant or restaurants in Bucks County?
I'm going with restaurants because we have so many really great sponsors and people who have done like, dine-in kind of things. The Temperance House has been like our clubhouse for a long time, like because they have like that big back room and we could have like 80s dance parties and karaoke was there. Love Guru's. Oh my gosh. Guru's, La Stalla.
Guru's is fantastic.
Yeah. We're going to have like little fundraiser dinners at those places coming up sometime in the next couple months. Relic, so fun, great place. State Street Kitchen, love breakfast at Jake's. Jake's has been like a big sponsor for us since day one.
You're naming some fantastic places.
Yeah, I know, but Cafe Con Leche, but it's very hard because like Oishi, like we have had like, in addition to like having a lot of support from everyone, also we just love eating from those places and, just ordering a big takeout thing and sitting out back or going and, taking the kids before my son's out in Colorado, so and a daughter here in Newtown. But when he's home, it's like we got the checklist: farmers market,
yep,
King of Falafel. It's like a whole list of like what we have to do.
That's awesome. And my last question is, where can people find out more about you and A Love for Life?
All right. Well, best place probably our website, which is www.alovefor.us, which is United States at the end. Couldn't get .com without paying some guy. He offered it to me for $10,000. It's like I can just do US. We have Instagram at A Love for Life _. Facebook is just A Love for Life. And I don't know. My email's Christine at aloveforlife.us. I can put in the comments, I guess, like up the connections if people are watching this. But anybody can reach out. We can put you on the mailing list, and then you would always know exactly what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Christine, for coming out today and talking about A Love for Life. I love what you're doing for pancreatic research and the community, and really just trying and help the world, just one person, $1 at a time. So thank you so much for coming out today, and I'm really excited to see what the future has for A Love for Life and the mark that you make in the pancreatic research space.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to ask about what we're doing.
Thank you. And as always, I'm Alex Neff, your real estate resource. Make sure to give me a call if you have any questions about Bucks County living.